Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. Business first, right? Um, Sorry I missed you guys. It's been a very busy car weekend and very busy other stuff in the shop weekend. So I've been going 100 miles an hour, haven't been able to hop online with you guys. And I apologize for that. I'm going to do a lot more. We also have special guests coming down here this week to shop version 1.8, 732, 96 point star date 42937R S. So the Miata power steering stuff has all been painted and clear coated. Well, first up, disassembled, cleaned, de-rusted, decorroded, all the threads cleaned up, all this other stuff done to the main rack. And I'll bring you guys down here with the main rack and the tie rods and the boots and all the hard lines and stuff. All the fittings got cleaned, all the threads got re-cleaned, stuff got painted. Hey Liz, we got two we got 2 coats of self-etching primer. We have 2 coats of gloss black, and then we have 3 coats of clear. And some of the stuff, I'll explain it on the steering rack, why we did stuff like that. And I showed you some of the other stuff. When I was talking about doing I have all the parts on the floor here. I was talking about doing the cast aluminum finish. This is kind of what it came out like. And that's very simple to do. It's self-etching primer and then truck bed liner from a pretty good distance away, a couple of coats of that, and then silver paint over it. Once I did the silver paint, then I did a couple of coats of clear coat, and you guys can kind of see the texture there. Hopefully the camera picks up on that. It leaves a very cool looking texture, and it's on really good on that side. And that's the sort of to make it look like cast aluminum, but it's a stamped steel part. Just gives it a cool look. It's something a little different, and it protects it. This metal it has super basic electrostatic protection from the factory. Electroplating, and it's not, it's durable enough, but nothing beats Ohio. Corrosion will happen as soon as your car crosses the state line. As soon as you clear I-70, corrosion starts. Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota, and over into New York. And yeah, it happens. That's why they call it the Rust Belt, right? Yeah, okay, cool. Camera's working good. Hopefully the mic's working good too. We're using the tiny little Boya mics tonight. So we did that on a bunch of the parts. I did it on the high pressure hose clamps too. And hopefully you guys can kind of see that. It's actually kind of a cool finish. It's very simple to do. It's mainly for looks. Truck bed liner is really good protection for metal parts, but this is mainly for looks. And I just thought it's kind of a neat finish. I'm doing other parts with truck bed liner and other clear coats. So the trick is to let the clear coat dry. Give it, follow the instructions. If you're spraying, if you're doing a rattle can, follow the instructions on the rattle can, and don't be afraid to give it extra time. Like I did yesterday, I gave it a whole extra day. I was actually busy doing 20 other things, but just giving it a whole extra day is a good idea. The clamps we got, they don't look super clean, but they actually are extremely clean. These got the rust remover, so they're going to get a brush over them before they go on the car, before the tubing goes back on. But these got the rust reformer on them to help clear up any of that corrosion. And then did the same thing on the bolts. That's why they look white. This white is going to flake off. And there's a bunch of stuff. The rust reformer actually is the white stuff that's left over. So where's one with a washer that moves? Does this guy have a, yeah, he's got a washer that moves. So this stuff flakes off, and it should be kind of a darkish black brown bolt. There's a bunch of crap in the threads here, so the brush will take care of that too when we bolt this back up. What else? The power steering reservoir. This is the one that I did a while back. This is also truck bed linered, and this is a different finish. This is just TBL with clear. And this is from a much greater distance. That's why it's really fine. If you look there, you can kind of see how fine it is. This one feels actually kind of cool. And we tape off the ports just so we have a combination of grip between the truck bed liner and the metal. And we have one of the beads doesn't have any paint at all on it. So we can have a bead with paint on it. This is the stopper bead. Tells you your hose is on far enough. And then this one is the one that actually seals the hose. So we just want a little bit of extra grip. It also makes for a really nice clean finish when the hose goes all the way up and you still see the actual finish. And this is finished all the way around on all sides. No seamless stuff here. We do all sides, inside holes, inside where the spot welding was done. And we do, actually, those dipsticks in there pretty tight. We do all the way up to the edge. So when you have that sealed, it still has a perfect finish on it. So what I want to do is I want to unwrap the steering rack with you guys. The steering rack is really heavy, so I'm going to bring you guys down on you can sort of see the steering rack right there. It is partially together. Now, with the silver part, the center part of the steering rack, there was an original corroseal. The first time I did corroseal on the Miata, got on the non-protected aluminum casting of the Miata's power steering rack. For me to get that off is a lot. I would have to bead blast the entire thing. And when I do that, I have to take it all the way apart and all of that stuff. So I did not do that. I just left the little corroseal stuff on there and clear coated over it. A lot of the stuff has black paint and clear on it. That stuff will, like on the rubber parts of the tie rod ends, it will eventually it doesn't adhere to it. So it'll wear off and crack and liberate itself. So don't worry too much about that. We actually use the rubber as a sealant, as a seal to protect those parts. Just saves a little bit of time and saves a little bit of tape. So give me a minute and we'll get the steering rack taken, take all the stuff off of the steering rack. And my watch is telling me to take a moment. Take a moment and connect with yourself as whatever. Anyway, give me a second to move you guys down here with me. The other thing I haven't done yet was shape that other hose. And I'm probably going to save the hoses for tomorrow and for later on this week. Hey, Manitoba. Manitoba, the bushing kit, all the stuff from Flying Miata is quality stuff. It's really hard to go wrong with FM stuff. Those guys do tons of research. They do it on NAs, NBs, NCs, NDs. They are qualified and they have quality stuff there. I don't think they have a ton of garbage on their site. Their bushing kit, I'm sure, is dead on. For the Miata, I did a energy suspension urethane bushing kit a few years ago, and I've been very happy with it. So if you have a car that's older than, I would say, for your bushings, you probably get 15 to 18 years out of the rubber bushings. If it's older than that, you should replace them because either they're, crumbling and just coming apart, or they're going to fail. And in the Miata, you have a bunch of odd bushings. You have ones in the rear diff that prevent the diff from vibrating. They're horizontal, these big donuts. They go in there. They're incredibly difficult to get out. But the energy suspension one is a great kit. It includes those. It does all the control arms, all of the sway bar, all of that stuff. And same thing with the Flying Miata. Their whole package covers the diff, control arms, sway bars, all that stuff. 7K Flying Miata. They like you. They're probably going to send you a sticker. I think they'll send you a sticker with $7,000. I'm just guessing. All the Flying Miata stuff. My friend Brian has a ton of it on his car. He has an NB and he absolutely loves it. He tracks the hell out of that thing. So again, a good quality score for Miata parts. They don't have every part, but they do have a lot of quality stuff. I think the coils that I got for this car are from Flying Miata. I can't remember if I got them from Moss or if I got them from Flying Miata. I believe those are from Flying Miata. Hang on one second. Bring you guys down here and take a look at this rack. Oh, and don't be afraid of replacing bushings. They're kind of a pain in the ass to get out, but the new kits are very, very easy to put in. So the original kit, I'll try and explain it with like this bushing. So this is just a standard rubber bushing. I did not get the polyurethane steering rack bushings. The bushings go in here between the metal clamping part and your component, whatever it is, suspension. Oh yeah, we can do this all day, right? And it reduces vibration and helps that part perform better. So when you replace these, the original ones are actually glued in there. They spray a really gnarly adhesive in here, like a urethane where it keeps your windshields in. And then they press the part in there and then they tighten it down. And then when you go to replace it, it is so hard to get those things out. But once you do, you peel them out. Now the new ones, they'll come split like this. The originals aren't. And I shouldn't say that. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But the new ones are usually split like this. So you can slide it over the component and then just slide it in there. It doesn't need the urethane to hold it in place. It's not a factory. You're actually, going to hold it and do it. When they're at the factory, they're doing 100 of these in an hour. So they're like, pshink, pshink. They can't have this part fall off. So that's why they glue them in there. It's also like a warranty and just a reliability thing. That's why they glue them in. So when you get new bushings, you'll definitely, when you do suspension bushings, you will absolutely feel the difference. The car will handle a lot better, a lot better. You'll also be able to feel more of the road, your tires. You'll be able to feel your tires better, feel your brakes better. All of your steering will be so much happier, I promise. Depending on which bushings you get, your ride might be stiffer. It might be a little softer. If you go OEM, it's definitely going to be softer. If you go with Prothane or energy suspension, it's going to be a stiffer ride. Yeah, let's not talk about hard dog roll bars. Oh, by the way, Prothane and energy suspension are the same company. The difference, Prothane is black in color. That's not racist. That's just what color they are. And then energy suspension is red in color. They're the exact same thing, exact same compound, two different colors. So if you want, red bushings, go with energy suspension. If you want black bushings, go with Prothane. That's it. The roll bar that I have in the Miata is actually a Boss Frog, and it is fantastic. Unfortunately, Boss Frog is no longer with us. They had a whole bunch of really, really great Miata parts, and I got lucky to score that one. You guys can see it a little better right there. I got lucky to score that one. I had it powder coated to match a bunch of the other components on the car. All the suspension is powder coated in that sparkle silver. And the Boss Frog is absolutely painless to install. I don't think I I think I had to trim away the tonneau cover for the hardtop. I had to undo some of the stitching so that it would go around it. I didn't have to do any metal cutting, and I think I had to trim a part of the carpet so that the roll bar would slide in and then the carpet could fold over it. Hard dog. Now I have a video up here. You guys can look back. That was a 3-day install with Chase. There are no instructions. If there are any hints of instructions, they're dreadful. The hardware is suspect to begin with. There's a ton of cutting, and their roll bars are very generic. So if you have an NA, an early NA versus a later NA, like an NA2, you're going to have to move the ECU from behind the seat because that's where the ECU is on these cars. And the early ones, it's not there, but the hard dog roll bar is made for, their only template that they used was for that early NA. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. You have to cut away, I believe you have to cut away a whole bunch of the back by the fuel filler, by the package tray back there. I'm trying to remember all the stuff. We had to do a lot of cutting. And for the quality of the roll bar, it was definitely not worth it. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Boss Frog was very expensive, and both of the roll bars do fit under a factory hardtop, which is great, but I wish Boss Frog was still around. Even at 50% more expensive, I would do another one over a hard dog. Now, I know the hard dog, everyone jumps up and down about them. They're also kind of the only one left, unless you want what's called a sport bar or a style bar. And those are not rollover bars. They're not roll bars in all. Anyway, they're for looks. They're usually nice chrome and they have this kind of cool design. It's basically like having a stack of soda cans behind you. It's not going to do anything if the car rolls over. Now, if this car rolls over, that bar will absolutely protect me. Hard dog bar will absolutely protect me. But for ease of installation, I love this one. It has the dual hoops, so I had a clear view with the rearview mirror, and also it looks a little more AC Cobra coupe sort of thing, versus the hard dog, which has that bar across the top, which is kind of kills the mood. I don't know if that's what it is. What else we got here? Yeah, the Boss Frog one I think has been out of production for a couple of years now. I wish it was still around. If you can find one out of another car, out of another NA, it's worth it to get a used one. They're definitely worth it for. I would take a used Boss Frog over a brand new hard dog. How's that? How's that for how good those things are? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep. I know the God, I'm trying to remember the models they had. The Deuce is the dual hoop like this, and then they have one with they have an X brace one, and then they have one without the X brace. And I think Chase got the one without the X brace. I can't remember. It was so painful to install that thing, and it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool at all. And Chase was kind of bummed too. And we did, after a lot of modification, a lot of fabrication, we did get it installed, and it does work fine, but it's a lot of work. Versus this took is it the powder coater for about 6 days for them to clean it and get it powder coated and cleared. And then I think it took me one evening to install it, setting everything in position, drilling for the plates, and then lifting it up. And there were support plates underneath that also got powder coated because my powder coater went crazy. I brought the package in. He powder coated all the parts, everything that went under the car, stuff that wasn't seen. He powder coated it all the same color. I was like, you really didn't have to do that, Jason, but he did, and that was cool. They're protected, which is a good thing. No, it's Manitoba. It's good. No worries. Don't worry. I'm not a Kachuk brother. I'm not going to hurt you guys. That was amazing to watch, by the way. They didn't even get 10 seconds into the game. I'm like, come on, you guys. Yeah. And other sports think they're tough. Yeah. You guys let me know. Okay. I am going to hop on the floor and we'll take the masking stuff off of the power steering rack and we'll get the power steering rack installed in the car. And we'll do that with you guys tonight. And then we can do some we can do hoses tomorrow or whenever. We also, like I said, we have special guests coming down this week. And then this weekend, we're going to the Ultima 800 at Freedom Factory, where they're going to race Nissan Altimas. We didn't get into the event in time to go find an Altima and race it, but maybe next time. I would love to do that. So give me a second to get you guys down on the floor here. And I should probably zip up my fly too. Just noticed that part. All right. All right, get this stuff out of the way. And actually, if I just bring you guys down to the stool, that'll be kind of a little more portable. And I think, oh, that's as low as the stool goes. There we go. Kind of, sort of. Try and keep the Miata in the shot. You can see all the other parts over here. So this is the steering rack. And I hate working on the ground, but this is where we're at right now. So the steering rack has been painted and cleared, and the pipes were individually painted and cleared. The hard lines were done in silver, no truck bed liner, just silver, and then 2 coats of silver, 2 coats of clear. And same with, you can see what I was talking about with the corrosion seal that was here. That stuff is like in the grains of the aluminum. And I didn't pull these bolts out because I don't want to break any seals. This unit was all sealed just fine. And then I masked off this main cover to do it in black just to give an offset color for the silver. Again, this has tons of clear coat on it. And there is an OEM sticker on here that I masked off. That we'll do that as, it's trying to pull the sticker and not the masking tape. We don't want that. We just want the masking tape. Just the masking tape. The sticker's really thin. So I'm trying to be a little careful. And it's also good that I didn't cut my nails. Okay. I think. And this is the problem with doing a lot of coats of paint and clear is everything on the masking gets very heavy and it makes it easy. Like this sticker is very light, but the tape is, hey, little tiny bug, get off me. You can see the tape kind of crunched and broke as it came apart. That's how much stuff was on there. That's how many coats of paint were on there. So yeah, this is just the manufacturer sticker that was on there, and he's still on there, thankfully. Some other stuff we can put on is this mount. And again, if you're wondering about Ohio corrosion, there you go. That's what it does. That's what it does to rubber. This is just straight, nothing fancy rubber. This is just what it does to it. It's amazing what the salt and brine and prune juice and stuff they put on the road. Plum juice, prune juice, I don't know what it is. That stuff that they put on the road, it's amazing what it does to even rubber components. I have a piece in my shop. It's a piece of fiberglass that's rusted. Yeah. Yeah. Fiberglass, rusted. So, um, I am going to put this guy back on here. And he kind of only goes on in one direction. And that's not a band reference. I'm going to try, I'm going to flip him because there was corrosion on the two sides. So I want to see which side. Yeah, we'll do him like this. He goes on here. And he should go snugly in place. Then our other one will go on the end, and we'll get him in place once we get up there. That is a tight fit. So we have that one bushing. And then you can see I painted the tie rod ends here. The threads and the actual shaft were covered in tape, but the cup got painted and it'll eventually break and flake off. So not too worried about that stuff. Yeah. So let's take, I don't know why it's all the way over there. There we go. That's better. I guess because I don't want you guys looking at the water heater. It's not very thrilling. The thing that sucks about taking masking off is that it's usually very dry and crusted and it's very hard to get off. You can also see that this nut is damaged from when it got removed from the car. So this is a standard nylock nut. You can see the hammer marks on there. So he's going to have to get replaced. So I'll have to hit the hardware store and get him replaced. And you know what? This is stupid because I just keep jacking up my paint job, trying to be frugal in here and trying to save space. And all I'm doing is making it more difficult on myself. So, all right, let's do this instead. Now, when he smacks the concrete, it's not going to take paint off. So, when you're doing this, don't be afraid to replace hardware. Hardware is usually very cheap, usually, unless you're dealing with like exploding bolts or something like that, which are a real thing. And yes, they are fun. And you can see this stuff also kind of, the paint breaks when you take this masking tape off. And this thing is very obnoxious to hold on to. Okay. So there we go. There's actually not that much paint on that guy. And he's been sitting in the sun for a few days. So all the adhesive that was on the tape is now on your hands. And there's a ton left on the plastic too, which will eventually wear off. We can clean it up if we want to. All right. Sometimes you can see and sometimes it just breaks off in your hand. So, we had some fluid. This was when the fluid was leaking out of this, when I had this pipe off. The fluid was leaking down. This is the gross part. But it never came down. I obviously sealed off the tie rod enough because it never came down the actual rod itself. Now remember, this is just a rattle can paint job. This is definitely not, this is not Kindig level paint in any way. This is just simple, very, very simple, quick, cheap protection for vehicles exposed to gnarly weather like the Miata has been for the majority of its life. Yeah, my tape job actually sealed in that power steering fluid, which I'm kind of impressed by. I knew I did a good job taping it. I didn't realize it was that good. But apparently it was. And now that your fingers are super slippery, it's hard to get in here. Let me get the rest of this tape out. Oh, God. It's like trying to grab a stick of butter. And even though I moved the blanket, I'm still dragging the tie rod end across the concrete. Up here, I'm kind of tearing the tape longitudinally because I don't have any grip on any of this stuff. So trying to peel the tape back is difficult. It's easier just to tear it. Take as many big chunks off as you can. Oh, that's all of it. Cool. Cool. Yeah, there's a little adhesive here, and that's going to wear off with the first rain, hopefully. And that is all of our masking. Oh, nope, we got this stuff. This other tie rod. And now, of course, I can't get the nut off. But I have old adhesive and a few drops of power steering fluid, and it just makes everything super slippery. So this nut also has some tappy taps on, so we're going to replace both of them. And again, I have this huge blue square. I cannot keep that tie rod end on it. So now we have all our masking off. All right, let's get this the hell out of here. So otherwise, it'll end up in my shoe or somewhere else less convenient. Actually, just going to use a rag. We're being very careful with paint on the tie rod ends. And I'll show you guys the different parts so you know what I'm talking about. Let's set that bolt over there. Where'd the other one go? Oh, there he is. So I'm just trying to get the crap off my hands. I have these nicely painted parts. Also, in here, I'll show you guys that too. That was another thing. It's another painting trick, but it's an important one. I'll just leave it there as a reminder. So, and this thing's great because you're like, oh, so this is This is the tie rod end, this little section right here. And this is the actual tie rod. So tie rod ends you replace all the time. They wear out. This is a really tightly press fit ball joint in here. I can't even move it with my thumb. And there's a little rubber boot in here. There's grease. But these, oh, that thing's falling out. These are tapered shafts. This is a tapered shaft right here as I pull the boot back. So that's a tapered shaft and it's cone shaped. So when you tighten it, it actually gets tighter inside the ball joint on the control arm. So when you tighten this down, it pulls it up and it gets really tight in there. You want to keep that clean. You don't want any paint, anything like that. Paint is basically colored glue. So if you glue that in there, it'll be even harder to get these out, especially in a highly corrosive environment. So for up here with the U-joint for the steering rack, you can see that little piece of paper towel in there. So I had that in there because you see the splines. Oh God, this thing's obnoxious. I don't know if you guys can see the splines. Anyway, there's splines in there. They're very fine. I don't know how many there are, 30, 28, something like that. And when you clamp down this bolt, the shaft that goes in here is splined. And when you clamp down that bolt, it makes those splines even tighter. Again, what you don't want is you don't want paint in there because this needs to, number one, be adjustable when you're installing it in the car. Number two, when you clamp it down, you don't want that to turn into glue and glue this thing together. I got grease coming out of this U-joint here. That's what's all over my hands. Stuff that was protected before. So you don't want to glue the main steering shaft into this. That's not a good idea. And we have our bolt here. We might have to yeah, we're gonna need some help. I can't really run it by hand. So grab a wrench and give this guy a quick run through. We'll do that with all the bolts. We'll run them through and clean up the threads and make sure they're going to stay tight, and then pull them back out. We'll put the two main clamps on, get this thing clamped up, and then we'll put these guys back on just temporarily, and then we'll pick up some hardware tomorrow just to hold them in place. When we get new hardware, we'll torque them down, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, give me a second. This is a 14. Oh, I'm good with this. Okay. And the other guy should be a 12. Oh, so good. And then our two small guys are 10s. So we have all of our sockets. 10, 12, and 14. So I'm going to give this guy just a little helper. Oh, yeah. He turns fine. And then we'll bring him back out. blow off any of that excess rust restorer. And we can also wipe down our bolt. And he's got the rust restorer embedded in him now. So with any good fortune, that'll last years and we won't have to worry about that again. Now, what you can't do is you can't leave this in here because the shaft is actually notched and so I'll show you guys on this how it works. You can't leave that bolt in there because the shaft actually has a little notch, or actually this is a better spot right here. So it has a little dent in it like this. So if you put the bolt in, it won't be able to get past that. You have to wait until the main shaft gets past that. Then you can slide the bolt through right here. Otherwise you can't, it won't get past this. So you have to leave the bolt out, put the shaft all the way in, then you can slide it in. And even if the bolt gets loose, the shaft will still stay in place. It's sort of a safety measure. But we can put him in here just hand tight so we don't lose him. Then we'll pull him all the way out. And now that he's cleared of all the excess stuff, he actually slides in there pretty damn good. I can go all the way by hand now. That's some clean threads right there. So these guys, we'll go into the car and we'll do them by hand. Hopefully you guys will hang out with me. And these have a lot of the rust reformer still on them. It's just a crust and it will come off once you spin it in there. So, oh, squeaky, squeaky. And we're going to do all this stuff by hand. We're not using any power tools right now. There's really no need to do it. You don't have a ton of threads. You're not using a ton of torque. There's really, except for speed, there's really no reason to use any kind of, you can use a zoomer if you want to. Zoomers help when taking stuff apart. But for doing this, you can do it by hand. It's a 14 mil, 3/8 drive. Again, it's not that hard. And you risk jacking it up with an impact. Let me grab a light here. See if we can expand on the lighting situation. Oh, I still have all this crap down here too from when the power steering fluid was draining. Whoops. So we'll get him sort of out of the way. And there's our boot that goes around that U-joint, which we have to put on before we do any kind of lockdown on that U-joint. The cat litter got most of this stuff. By the way, shop recommendation, Tidy Cat. It's the good stuff. Works great. Tidy Cat is very handy with fluids. Okay, I'm going to bring you, well, let me move this in place and then I'll move you guys over there. I know this isn't quite the Thrillsville that everyone was hoping for with a steering rack and a Miata, but this is what I've got for you. All right, move this light back where he'll actually be helpful. All right, let's see if we can get you guys a good view here. Wish me luck. All right. I'm coming down here with you guys. So Let's see if I can get this light here. So you can see where our steering rack is going to go, here and here. That's where our two big clamps are. I'm going to grab a rag and we're going to clean up some of this oil. So let me see. Is that I can't really tell from where I'm at. So if I point right there, and I point right there, you guys can kind of see it. Okay. The car is definitely not jacked up high enough. So I'll come down a little bit. And there's no way for me to be able to read your comments from here. So we're going to run the bolts through here and just clean them up. First, we're going to wipe all this down. Well, we'll wipe it down after we do the bolts. Do the bolts first, wipe everything down, then we'll put the rack up there. All right, give me a second to grab some Rockstar and get some parts. Where's my Rockstar? There it is. All right. Why do I have 3 of these? Oh, is the 4th one still in there? Yeah, okay. And, oh, these 2 clamps. Okay. All right, I'm going to come down with you guys. Excuse me for burping. All right, I'm going to check out comments here. I can see you guys typing. The mouse out of the way. Yeah, there are a couple of bugs. Some pretty gnarly spiders down here too. Is that the end of talking? Yes. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all the bugs in Canada are resting in peace, whatever that might be. So all 4 of these bolts are the same. They are same 4 bolts on each side. So it doesn't really matter which place they go back. And I did not need the deep well socket, but the deep well socket comes with a 6-point. Excuse me. Whoop, another one. So 6 points grabs better than 12. It's hard. I can't see that one in the back. I'm in a straight line right here with the one in the front. Okay, he's all the way down. Yeah, on this one you can see the lock washer. And we didn't replace these bolts because the lock washer was actually put on at the factory. So that's why we didn't replace any of these guys. Now see with this, it's a huge pain with the tall socket. So I'm gonna have to switch. I don't want to, but I gotta. Sorry. Oh, my apologies. These sockets, my short ones in this toolbox, are actually 6-point. So we have 6-point sockets for the shorties. I'm going to do the front one first because it makes it harder. It makes it easier to see the back. A lot of people are going to say this is totally unnecessary. Just zoom it in and call it done. That's true. You absolutely could. And this is not necessary. This is just to clean up threads on both the screw and just on the bolt and the captive nut. That's really what we're doing. This is such a weird angle, hitting this thing straight on. Usually you have a different kind of leverage. Okay, so now I'm going to come back, take this guy out, and we'll go through here and we'll torque everything once everything's installed. I just want to make sure these things clamp down. Yeah, you see the extra, that's the extra powder and stuff from the rust reformer. That's all the stuff we're taking off. These guys should be, finger tight when you install them. It's a little harder because I'm at such a weird angle. Okay. It's also good to check to make sure that these guys aren't stripped out, because nobody likes a stripped out bolt or nut. I don't know of anyone that likes a stripped out bolt or nut. Not on my watch. Now, what's really funny is people are going to be like, hey, Kevin, how come you painted all this and made it look really pretty and, did all those coats of clear coat and super careful with it? You're never going to see it underneath the car. You're correct. I'm not. But while I'm driving the car, I'm going to know that it's protected and that if rain or any kind of other bizarre elements come through here, like armadillos or anything like that, they will be, this portion of the car is protected really, really, really well. And here's another little pro tip for you. I was kind of waiting for someone to say it in the group, but no one really said it. Also, don't use brake clean on this, and don't use brake clean on powder coated parts because it'll take the finish right off. So this oil is from an old front main seal leak, and we'll probably have to get into that later on this summer. It is not a heavy leak, but it is a pain because this is a fairly new engine. Get all of this stuff out of here. So now we can put our steering rack up there. Let's get our clamps at least sort of in the right spot. Where's my guy over here? All right. My wrench is out of the way. My bolt's sort of out of the way. Oh, I have this guy in here backwards. Hang on. All right, this clamp goes here. This clamp goes here. All right, spinorama. So graceful. Try not to hit myself in the nuts with it. Oh, you know. Okay. There we go. Okay. So the first one we're going to put up is this one because we already have the rubber bushing on it. And then on this guy, I guess we can put that rubber bushing on because he'll slide into place without hurting the paint too much. So yeah, we can put the rubber bushing on that guy too. So this one, you can tell, see, he has the hole in the top right there. And this guy has the detent on him. So now you know which clamp goes where. And our other clamp is right here. And these clamps are ambidextrous. They can go either way. So I'm going to say that way looks cooler. I don't think it really matters. It doesn't. So I'm going to get the clamp on here. It's obviously going to be on there tighter when you have the rubber on there. And now the fun part is lining up this up there with the main shaft. This is really hard to do, first off, one-handed. Oh, come on. Oh, man. Something like that. I'm trying to remember how that pipe goes. There we go. There is kind of one. Here is the second one. So get this guy in place. Just going to use this bolt to hold him. Okay, there you go. Maybe you're going to go stay right there. Okay. Now, in order for this guy to go in, I have to go up top and I have to line him up with the steering shaft. So I will be right back with you guys. Give me a second here. All right, hang on. Oh, and I need to put this boot back on him. That'll be fun. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, he goes that way. Yeah. Actually, the boot going back on should be pretty easy. So give me a second here. Loud noises. And I need a light for down there. Sorry if this is blinding you guys. Let's see, we can go from here. And this is obviously going to have to get, holy crap. Now my hand is stuck. Okay. How does he go? He goes on. Oh boy. This isn't happening like this. I'm going to have to bring him down and do him that way. But I don't have my white mark anymore because it got painted over. So I got to make sure the steering is straight when I reattach the steering wheel. So let's pull him down again. I'll put this boot on, and then I have to put this boot on. He protects that U-joint up there, and the car is just so damn low. Okay, let's bring this down. And trying to get my hands in there to put this boot on is a huge mess. Where is that white mark? I should be able to see it on the edge here. Well, we'll be able to get it really, really, really damn close. This guy goes down. Ow, 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 ow. My finger's cut. This is the boot that protects that U-joint from all the gnarly stuff in the world. And he is much easier to put on down here than through the engine bay, except when you're laying on your side, balancing on one hip. All right. This thing moves around, so it's like shooting pool with a rope. Every time you think you've got something done, it just rolls out of the way again. Okay, come here. There you go. Go over that. Yeah. That's a good little rubber boot. Damn, this thing's tight on me. It's so much easier to pull off. There we go. Most of the way. Most of the way. Damn. Okay. Over that, down there. Keep going. Okay. There we go. Good job. Okay. It's a little hard to tell, but the boot right here has a hole in it for access to this bolt. Now, we didn't remove this bolt, so that was a good spot for us to line up in. Also, hey, Kev, how come you do different colors? How come you do a light color or you do dark color on some stuff? If you're going to leak a fluid, light color is the way to go. So that way you can see where the fluid is leaking out of. If it's black, it's a lot harder to find fluid leaks. So if you do a light color or like a red or a yellow, something like that, it's a lot easier to find, unless, you know, if it's a black or a dark green or whatever. So that's why we do that. And then up here, these, like I was telling you guys about when I painted them, the fittings all got torqued and then they got clear coated over. It's just a little added seal. It's a little extra protection to prevent dirt and stuff from getting down in there and corroding those guys. So those guys are cleared. That's why they look shiny. This one over on this end will not be cleared because he's the high pressure line and he is under amazing amounts of torque. Okay, let me get my shoulder back under here and get this back up here. And get our bolt back in. Cool. And then this guy, I can't really wiggle him. He's going to have to get, that rubber bushing is going to have to get crunched. Yeah. I'll have to get that other bolt from the top. So I'm going to do the tie rod ends right now. I'm going to get where'd my 2 nuts go? These guys have to go in. There you go. Come on. There you go, buddy. Okay. Grab my 2 nuts that are going to get reused. Again, these are just temporary to hold stuff in place. I just need a few threads on here. And I'm going to come over and do that side. You guys won't be able to see it. My apologies. But I am right here by the computer. Oh, this is so stiff. Okay. There we go. God, this side. And I'm looking out for you guys because I'm right here. I don't want to bonk the computer, the laptop. I can't see the angle that I need to get to. There we go. Okay. Trying to avoid the fender, the laptop, everything else. This is why they have 6 camera people, right? All right. So now I can work on this top edge. I can still slide that guy back a little bit and get this in line. Now, I want to check that the wheels are straight-ish and that the steering wheel is perfectly straight, which it is. Again, this can all be corrected in alignment, so it's not a huge issue. But I definitely want to make sure we're at least really, 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 really close, if not dead on. Oh my God. There's so much stuff in the way. All right. Okay. If you saw how my arm was folded right there, you would laugh. You would laugh and laugh and laugh. And then all I do is blind myself. There's nowhere to put this light. I won't be blinding myself. Oh, let's see. Let me get this little bolt out of here. There we go. Now we can line these two guys up, and hopefully these splines line up. Okay. I am just going to put that bolt in my pocket. I'll remember it, I promise. Okay. Now, this is the fun part. I'm trying to line up the splines on the steering shaft with the splines on that U-joint on the rack. And I think they're in place. It's really hard. And I can't see anything. There's... Everything looks really straight. Oh, it's not. There we go. There we go. Whatever that was. Whatever that was the ticket. There we go. Now we're on it. And the main return line we can now bring back up this way. Get all that rubber out of the way. Let me You should flex over that. There it goes. Get that rubber out of the way again. Maybe. There we go. Okay. There's our flex. Return line. Yay. Yay. Okay. He is in there, but he's got to get pushed a little bit further. So I'm going to come down here and hopefully I can get more leverage, because I cannot get a ton of leverage from up there. And I don't have anything hindering it here. Do I? No. It sucks not being able to use your left hand. Whoops. That's my shoulder pushing on the air down. God. Wiggle. Come on. He's only got another half inch to go. It's almost there. He is so close. This is the struggle. It's such a tight fit in here that you want all these components to fit really tight, but I'm not sure if you want them that tight. Trying to figure out what's stopping this thing from going up there. It's not hitting anything, I don't think. Nope, we have clearance all the way. All right, let's try it again from up above. I don't know what the hell's happening here. It could just be corrosion on that main steering shaft, but he looks okay, I guess. I don't know. He's moving a little bit at a time. I guess we'll give him a little help. I think it's just a leverage issue. I just can't get leverage up there. So we'll get the orange motivator, see if we can't help him out. Yeah. Come on, buddy. He's so close. All right, let me try something. Let me try something here. See if we can't get this wiggle. See, when I bring my hand down here, I can't actually push anything. Yeah, there's no way. Unless you're like Bruce Lee doing, 2-finger push-ups and stuff, which I am not. I will fully admit that. I don't know why he's not going. He should be right in place, but he is not. Of course, there's no way to grab down here. Come on, buddy. I know you're close. Yeah, he's like a quarter of an inch out. So he's really close in there. Ow, crap, that hurts. Oh, God. I can't do anything without smacking my entire body all over the place. I have this little tiny space I'm working in. I'm trying to hammer along the same axis as the U-joint. That way the U-joint stays straight and doesn't like fold one way or the other. And this spot right here is a nice flat spot. You can also go from here if you're trying to go a little bit up or down. Ah, so close. And I can see it too, which sucks. Okay, come on, buddy. And then my shoe gets caught. I hate these cabinets. I really do. Oh, you're so close. All right, let me see. Maybe. God, and all the wiring for the fans and stuff just digs into my arms. God. All right. Oh. We'll keep going. He gets closer every time, so. I mean, like right now, this bolt is really close. So when that bolt lines up, like a quarter of an inch, barely. Damn, come on, buddy. You are killing me. Of course, I have no leverage. I'm hammering this thing left-handed. I don't have any wood blocks or anything to help hit it any harder. It's like walking around a Cracker Barrel parking lot trying to find tools. It's really difficult. But we'll keep going. It is working. It's just slow as hell. Let's see how close we are. Oh, so close. Oh, come on, buddy. Come on. You have to be really close. Oh, come on. Oh. Hang on, we might have one side here. Nope. How is it now further away? Oh, damn it. Let me see how far I got. Or I should say how far I have to go. He hasn't moved at all. There's got to be a better way to do this. Hang on. Let me see what I got that I can use as any kind of hammer and not use the dead blow. I guess this is a piece of wood. Let's give it a try. It's way too long now. Oops. Yeah, like something like that. Okay, now he's really caught in there. Yeah, you can feel this rubber bushing seating in place. All right, I'm going to loosen this guy. So there we go. I'm going to check up top, see how close we are. And we are on it. So we are officially in. Let's get that bolt behind there, in there. And once again, I'm doing this for you guys because I cannot see it at all. I'm going to get rid of this stuff. Sorry for the loud noise. Okay. Totally blind. On my back. The only good part is I'm doing it right-handed. %, in the dark. This guy's probably gonna have to come all the way out again. I might have to get a bunch of extensions and get that guy. Maybe. I just need to be able to feel him get started. And I can't use my left thumb at all. It's awful. Come on. Yeah. I have to get this guy from the top. So give me a second here. See if I can even see him from the top. Kind of barely, not really. This radiator crossover hose is a huge visual problem on these cars. It's a crossover hose that runs along the firewall and then comes over, and it is a huge, huge visual issue. So I'm gonna have to move the light on you guys so I can see this thing. Oh, he's not even close. Oh, come on. Now he's stuck somewhere. No, he's not. Okay, good. Come back here. Hang on. There literally is no room between that plate and that bracket. All right. They pack everything in here so damn tight. Like so damn tight. Oh my God. See, I can't even tell if I can get one finger on one side. There's no way for me to tell if that is actually going in straight. I can't even tell. I can't get enough light in there to actually see if it is or not. Wow. That looks straight. Ish. Almost. There's no way to see the hole that bolt's supposed to go into. You have these hard lines in the way. You have the bracket itself. You have the rubber bushing itself. Yeah, of course. This light will not stay put. There's no place to mount a light. So you actually can't even get light in there to see where you're going. So you don't know what angle you need to be at. Oh my God. Get away from me. All right. This is going to be a feel one. I can already tell. My shoe keeps getting caught in the cabinet door and the concrete. And I'm seriously about to use the tow rope on my truck and just yank these things out of here. I detest them that much. It's not a kitchen. If I could get my other finger up there, I could tell if it was going in straight or not. But there's no way. That hard line is actually in the way. If I move the bracket up, that takes it further off. center. Yeah, this is like next to impossible. Let me try with the socket. I don't have a good feeling about using a socket. Oh God. I'm gonna tell you right now. These guys digging into your ribs. Not a good feeling. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm gonna get some light back here for you guys. Damn it. Okay. Wow. Oh, wait. Okay. No, maybe. Honestly, there's no way to tell. Everything says it's in line. Like if I put this guy back in here, he threads in. So that means everything should be totally lined up. But I cannot get those threads to catch. I cannot. Oh my God. There's no way to get a finger in there. I don't even remember how I got this guy like in there or out of there. Oh, deep socket might work. Is deep socket working? No. But I have a much better grip. If I can see. Is he grabbing? No, he's not. See, this is the thing that both of these have to go down that distance. I don't know if you guys can see that. Both of these have to go down that distance. And this rubber bushing is not letting it. So maybe we try flipping it. There's nothing weird on the bushing. It's still in there exactly how it's supposed to be. This would be so weird if flipping it just lets it drop right in. I don't think it would. It should be ambidextrous all the way around, but Yep. Now it grabs threads back there. Of course it does. Oh, it did. Oh crap! Are you kidding? Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, this is driving me nuts. Just won't grab that first thread in there, which is killing me. If I can get it to get that first thread, that would be very, very helpful. Nope. He does not want to go in there. So let's help him out here. What the? Now what? Now that guy decides to grab? Can't. This part is not as much fun. I don't understand. Okay. It's just threading very slowly. Okay. Okay. Now, come back to this guy and guess who is threading all the way in now? Now he wants to be buddies, right? Where did my... I don't think I can reach him with this. So I need a different 14. Hang on. Almost done here. Almost done here. What? Oh, you know what we can do is we can use this guy. He's a thin head. He might actually work. I'm just going to get something to drink quick. Yeah, I got to admit, it'd be nice to get the Miata off the stands. Okay, so we have a thin head with the 14. Hopefully, I can get to him with that, which I think I can. Is he on there? Yeah, nice. These AC lines couldn't, I mean, the AC is a total afterthought in this car. And the lines are just such a mess. Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. So we have almost one more back here. Make sure he wiggles in correctly. And kind of an easy way to do finger tight, if you can't see it, you can actually use the socket. And that'll help you get a little bit more torque on it. If you have a corroded spot or something like that, it'll help you twist it. Like, there's no way for me to reach this. Like, I can barely touch it with my middle finger. And we're going to have to loosen this guy up so I can wiggle that. So I need to wiggle this bracket a little. Where the... Okay. Is it going? No. By the way, if you guys don't know, there's a new season of Resident Alien out. Should definitely check that out. It's a funny show. I think it's a funny show. A lot of people won't. I like Alan Tudyk. I think he's a very funny actor. And he takes the sci-fi genre very, very seriously, and he has a lot of fun with it. If you don't know who Alan Tudyk is, then look him up. He's very funny. Oh, come on. I want that. You're now totally loose. Ah, oh, that crack is killing me. Okay. Again, I cannot reach that thing. It's all the way up and over. Oh, get that pinched nerve in there. That's always fun. Come on. Oh, I just need that one thread to grab. He just doesn't want to grab. It's a pain. I can feel it too, which is terrible. Oh my God. This is ridiculous. And again, I can't. This guy, no problem. Goes straight in, right? This guy, nope, no way, no how, no matter what I do. Regardless of angle, how many threads, nothing. Okay. Well, since he is also ambidextrous, worked on the other side, right? What? Is he already flat on there? He is already flat on there. Oh. It's already flat on the bracket. This is dumb. Okay, hang on. I'm going to this one. Those little rubber guys grip so well that you have no flex. Oh, come on. Okay, come on. You have no flex on these brackets once any of these bolts are tight. So now we should have a little bit of flex. Yeah, there we go. And should be able to get this guy started. Yeah. Those rubber grips actually grip really, really, really well. That's their job, right? So, okay. There we go. It'd be nice to not look at this steering rack. Whoa, for a little while. Okay. These guys tighten back up, and we are done for the night. Go tight. Ow. Okay. Again, these will get torqued when we torque and get the replacement, and that's for the tie rods. The tie rod ends. We'll get everything torqued to spec. Those are the only bolts that we need torqued to spec. So we're done with the 14. We'll need the 10 and 12 because I got to put that 12 in up top, don't I? That's right, I do. All right, let's put some tools away, and we are done under here. New steering rack's in. Looks pretty damn new, and it's nicely protected now. It has a lot of clear coat and all this stuff on here, so should work out pretty well. Keep that guy out. All right, I'm gonna bring you guys up here with me. That was fun. No? All right. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put this 12 that I've had in my front pocket back in the steering rack. The top of this U joint. And I'm going to give him a little wiggle down. Okay. We are tight. We'll get our light out of here too. Cool. So get some of these tools put away. Of course the light turns back on. All right. Hammers go with hammers. And we will grab our rag and get ourselves cleaned up. So tomorrow we will do the hoses and reservoir, and we'll be done with this thing. We can fill it up, we can test it, and I'll show you guys how to bleed the line with regards to Miatas. It's not incredibly difficult, but there's definitely a process for it. Yeah, let's see. Hey, Manitoba, I'm glad you like it. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, you guys. Cool. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Manitoba. I really appreciate it, and Liz and whoever else is here. I'm glad you guys like it. It's one of those. I'm not a pro. I'm not getting paid anything for this. These are my personal vehicles and occasionally friends' vehicles. Wow, look at that. Look at that. How awesome. Whoa. Okay. No, but we keep going. Oh, yeah. Wow. Look. It's glorious. Wow. And it's got a bunch of crap in it now, too. Is that cool? It's like a hedgehog. Okay. Definitely not a reference I want. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out tonight. I appreciate it. Yeah, it got a little hot and sweaty under there, so my hair kind of got a little wet. Tomorrow we'll do the hoses and get that filled up with power steering fluid, and I'll show you guys how to bleed the power steering lines. I got to pick up the hardware for the tie rod ends, just those two nuts. I got to do food shopping, so I got to do hardware shopping on my way back. That's pretty easy. Those would be nylock nuts. Usually, I shouldn't say usually. They're either nylock nuts or they're castle nuts, and they'll have a cotter pin in there to make sure that those castle nuts don't fall out. For some reason on the Miatas, they like the nylocks. It doesn't really faze me either way, as long as it stays tight and gets torqued. I'll torque everything down before the wheels go back on. And actually, for bleeding it, we want the car raised up. We don't want any weight on it as it cycles back and forth. So, like I said, I'll show you guys how to do that stuff. But yeah, we have all of our new lines. I'll form that other one tomorrow, and we'll do a bunch of other cool stuff this week. Hopefully, we have the Miata running, driving, and out enjoying all the Florida winter. It's I feel terrible, man. The rest of the country's in like a huge deep freeze, like from I guess literally all the way across from Oregon, Wyoming, South Dakota, Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, Indiana, Illinois, all the way across Ohio, Pennsylvania. Everyone's just in this super deep freeze, and there's another polar vortex, and apparently there's more coming. That's what the guys are all predicting. So I'm sorry you guys are trapped in that. But down here, like if I wanted to, I could take the motorcycle out tomorrow. I know that you can hate me. That's fine. Take a number. So we do a ton more stuff, and I'll try and be as thorough as possible, and I'll try and give you guys as many tips as possible. So if there's something you want to see, or if you have a question about something, please post in the comments. I love getting the comments and notes from you guys. They help me make these videos better and show off detail or things that I forgot or things that I just roll right past because I'm so used to them. So if you guys want to, I would I'd be happy to hear any questions, any suggestions that you have. Hey, Kev, maybe a different shop hoodie. Yeah, that's actually probably a good idea. tomorrow will probably be a t-shirt. But I have shop clothes versus my regular clothes, so that's why you see me kind of in the same stuff. All this stuff gets washed, and just it's what I wear in the shop because I don't care if it gets ripped or welding burn holes or paint. I got paint all over this one from doing a roll cage. So yeah, if there's something you guys want to see here in the shop, definitely let me know. We've got friends. They've got tons of different cars. I'd really like to get Leo and Gwen down here and get some of their vehicles down here. The S2K, the GT4, GTFOUR, Celica GT4, I guess is a better way to put it. And get his Cadillac down here. It's basically a straight piped ATS, ATSV, whatever the new one is, the new 4-door guy. And they've got a couple of cool cars. So if there's something you guys want to see, definitely let me know. And I'll also post stuff on social media. So if you guys want to, you can hit me up. Who's here? Hey, Juan. You're just in time, man. We just finished putting the newish old steering rack in. Yeah, everything got painted, cleaned up, and clear coated, and it looks really nice. Got bolted up. Pain in the ass getting the mounting bolts back in, just because trying to get those clamps level, that took a lot longer than I wanted it to. But everything looks great in there. I'm pleased with how it turned out, and it shouldn't leak. And then tomorrow, we've got hose. That's yeah, okay. So we'll be doing the new hoses. We'll be doing the low pressure line and the high pressure line. So we'll be doing that stuff tomorrow. You're a little bit late, but it's cool. Work in the cold is something else. Yeah, I totally agree. I've done it for a long time. Thankfully, I'm not doing it anymore. At least right now. I'll probably be doing it more. I definitely have to do a couple of trips back to Ohio, so I'll probably get stuck working in the brutal cold again that I really don't want to. But I don't mind it. I love doing this stuff. I love teaching you guys. I love when you guys come up with ideas, and when you guys help me make the channel better, and you guys come up with a lot of great ideas. I've got a bunch of messages from people that are psyched about all of the stuff we're doing here, and just the variety. Everything from the Viper to the Miata to the motorcycles to whatever. How to paint, how to make your metal parts look like cast aluminum. Not a lot of people do that. So when you guys say you want to learn different finishing stuff or different cleaning stuff or different tools, whatever, that's always cool. I like getting those messages from you guys. But yeah, I'll keep going, and we'll keep doing more stuff. There'll be a bunch of stuff this week because I got a bunch of special guests. So definitely check in. I would say tomorrow night we'll be doing the hoses on the Miata. And then I think Wednesday night we'll have a special guest, or Thursday night we'll have a special guest. Friday, I'm not sure what we're doing. But Saturday we will be at Freedom Factory at the Ultima 800. We do not have a car entered in that, but we are going to the event. So we're going to check out stuff in the pits and see how these guys do this, so that maybe next time we can enter a car and race. Racing Cafe 80s bikes. Ooh. A friend of mine, actually, this is a crazy story. A friend of mine found, this sounds so weird. He was driving through West Texas. He looked over and he saw something shiny in a sand dune. And he turned around and he went back and looked, and it was part of a handlebar. And he found the nearest property owner. Now, in West Texas, the nearest property owner is like 60 miles away. The guy's just way out there. Finds the property owner. He asks the guy, "Hey, what's stuck in the sand dune, out at the edge of your property?" And the guy said, "It's an old motorcycle. If you dig it out, you can have it." And my buddy dug it out, and It was a KZ 1000. It was like a 78 or 79 KZ 1000, like an old, like chips, what the motorcycle chips, the original chips, not the remake. And he took this bike, and my friend Justin is absolutely bonkers. He's awesome. Literally every nut and bolt, took the entire thing apart, turned it into a really, really kick-ass cafe racer. So normally when you see the cop bikes, they're kind of sort of sport cruiser setup. This thing was super hunched over. It was awesome. It was really, really cool. Painted the frame, did all these really cool sort of cafe racer tricks to it. It was slick, very slick. Justin doesn't have a ton of money, so he was trying to do all this really cool stuff on a low budget, and it came out great. It came out really nice. And this was literally a free motorcycle he found in a sand dune cruising through West Texas. That's pretty cool. Those are the cool people. Those are the people I like hanging out with. Those are the people I like. I love hearing stories like that. Justin and we've been friends for almost 30 years now. Very, very cool guy. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful with the old curmudgeon guys, because they'll have tons and tons of really cool shit. They don't want to part with it. They're just going to hoard it forever and ever. There's the guy with the Ma Deuce. There's the guy with the 35-foot Sea Ray, and he doesn't live anywhere near the water. What the hell's he doing with a boat? And the first gen Bronco that's absolutely mint, stuck in a barn with some dust on it. You're like, dude, it's got a 302 in it. Come on, sell it to me. Like I saw one this weekend. We were at a JDM type event at Steak and Shake, and very cool cars there, lots of different stuff. And this was in Tampa. And I'm still, meeting people and trying to figure out the scene and all that. And this guy comes through Steak and Shake, and he's not part of the meet. He just like finished working or whatever. 83 Toyota truck, 2-wheel drive. It was cool. It was, I don't want to say beat up, but it was well used. He had 160,000 miles on it. It was manual. I believe it was a 5-speed. It had, the bumper was dented in the back and the bumper was dented in the front. And there's some corrosion happening on the wheels. I went up to the guy and I was like, hey man, is it cool if I take a picture of your truck? It was a 2-tone red with white. And he was like, yeah, no problem. And no one else was checking out his truck. Everyone else was checking out all the other cars that were in the parking lot. And I thought this guy's truck was just really cool. And when I went over, checked out, a whole bunch of other people came over and started talking to the guy too. He was really nice, but he was just there picking up a late dinner. He happened to have a really cool truck. So you never know what's going to happen. But I was going to offer him, I'm like, hey man, I'll give you $5,000 for your truck. But what's he going to do with that $5,000? He can't really, go out and buy a brand new truck. And, this one serves its purpose, holds all his tools, all his supplies and stuff. Why, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And even though you get money, you're going to get into a bigger, deeper hole. So the guy was actually pretty smart about it. And I didn't offer it, but I knew that if I did, he would say, no, that's okay. So, and also, I have my own conscience. I don't want to get, put a person in a worse spot just to satisfy my quirky mini truck desire. Right. So yeah, it was cool. And, maybe I see him again and maybe he's in a different spot and he does want to sell it. But yeah, that was a really cool find, especially with all the other cool cars that were there. You see this kind of rare 80s Toyota truck that you really don't see anymore. That was pretty cool. And I could smell that it was the carbureted 22R. So it was not the 22RE, it was the 22R. I could smell it when I walked around the front of the truck. You can smell the carbureted ones versus the fuel injected ones. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think he was, his taste for it was more for work and general transportation and hauling stuff around. His was not to own a cool JDM truck. So that's where the two differences were. So that makes it a little odd. And maybe I'm just considerate about other people and their setups. Their station in life is different than mine, so I don't want to, I don't want to improve mine while demoting theirs. I'd rather them, flourish. And if it's with a simple truck, it's with a simple truck. The guy was super cool, and I'm, you know, glad I got to talk to him. Glad I got to see the truck. It didn't have a latch in the back. It had the two buckles on the side. I mean, come on, for the tailgate, that's so kick ass. That's so cool. And to find one that's, running, driving, only 160,000 miles on an 83, that's pretty nice. So yeah, the guy was cool. Very, very cool. So you never know, you find stuff like that. I posted a picture of it on Facebook and on Instagram. So you guys can check it out over there if you want.